It's so interesting because as I was tuning into the collective energy and meditating on what would come through and shuffling for the theme today, everything felt calm. It felt at ease. And the minute I turned on the camera, all of a sudden my heart was racing and then there was this lump in my throat. So I'm sensing there's this, and it really aligns with what the theme is for today, this fear of being seen as who you truly are. And the reason I say that is because today's theme is clarity. And with that clarity, what I saw was that there's this fog that is lifting. There's this like haze that you've been in, and it's like everything felt blurry and it just didn't really, felt like there was confusion and felt like maybe there was a lot of things that felt nebulous. And now that fog, that haze is clearing up. It's lifting so you can see what is next. And it's almost as if that haze, that fog was like stopping like others from seeing you as well. Like it worked both ways. So it's like you couldn't really see clearly, but then others couldn't really see you clearly either. And it's like there's this realization of, with this clarity, with this lifting of the fog, it's this choice to show who you are. And there's that like anticipation, that like nervousness of like this like constriction. And so it feels like it's also a cleansing. Either the cleansing has already happened or it's going to happen. It's coming, it's happening now. And it's bringing in this abundant energy, this supportive energy for you to choose who you are and who you want to be, who you came here to be. And it's starting to settle now. There's been a lot of things coming up today around the throat chakra. Reminders for me, even with my throat chakra. And lots of times when those messages come through to us, it can be only for us, but lots of times these overlap with a collective. You're always going to find someone else who can resonate with things that are popping up. Strength. Having the strength to move forward, to try something new, having the strength to create something new. Oof. I'm like feeling pressure in the third eye region, like the forehead. And it's like getting, it's almost like I feel lightheaded. This is really about grounding in your strength, grounding yourself in your strength. Because it's time to see who the F you are. That's what I'm hearing. Not censored, but I have to censor it here. It's time to see who you are. And to this clarity is around the veil is being lifted for you to see who you actually are and not the stories in which you were told that you are, that you believe that you are because of your external environment. There's this like warped perception, feels very twisted, like I'm seeing like energy twisting and like distorting the way you view yourself. I'm hearing viewed yourself. And now you're starting to see that it was all an illusion. The illusion is breaking. And I'm getting that there's a lot of fear in finally seeing who you are. It's a mixture of fear and relief. The relief comes from like, oh, this is who I am. And it's like this like coming home to yourself. But then the fear is, how do I present that to the world when the world, and this like pertains to whoever's in your vicinity, your environment, who knows you, how are they going to perceive me if I start showing them or acting like who I truly am? It's like there's this part of you that has been sleeping, it's been dormant. I'm getting like pain here. It's like a sharp stabbing pain, and it's like right here too. And now it's like on this side. It's like I'm seeing antennas like coming out right here. I'm seeing antennas. I'm seeing alien looking things. It's realizing that the part of you that's been sleeping has been awakened. It's been awakening. And you're starting to see that the you that you are, you truly are, is this like colorful, weird, like it's kind of, it's like alien like. This might deter some of you, but alien like creature in the best way possible. You may not feel that way, but it's like we are all so unique. And if you are someone that believes in past lives, then I would assume that you would know, like, or feel called to the fact that like we weren't always in human form. Our soul takes up a new form whenever it chooses to come back, in a way. And I'm just seeing there's this unification of what your soul is and what these past lives are, and integrating it into this human form, and realizing like, and this is more of a subconscious, like it's not like you know who you were in past lives, but there's this inner knowing within your body that is really integrating, and you're coming into who you truly are. And there's a strength in that, because you have to make a choice of if you're going to, there's no going back, in the sense of this knowledge that you feel of like, oh, I'm actually seeing myself for who I am. I'm unique, I'm weird, I'm quirky, I'm all these things that are absolutely beautiful and wonderful. And just breaking from the norm, the societal norm of like what we should act and be like, and really embrace this part of you, this this who you are, not this part of you, this whole of you. And so there's no going back with the knowledge, but it's a choice of, are you going to stay in this stagnancy of presenting yourself as someone that is like a version of you, but that isn't you? Or shedding light on, like, to the world, like showing them who you are. I have Oracle of Swords and the Emperor. I think the Emperor came up maybe in my last tarot reading, but it's interesting, the horns. And I was saying, like, I was seeing like antennas. It could be horns. Like, there's something here where it's like this strength that allows you to, it's like antennas, like this satellite signal of like taking in that information, that higher guidance. And going back to the alien, it's so funny because I could feel the constriction when I started to say alien, and that's not necessarily coming from me. It's like the collective constriction around the talk of like aliens. And really what it is knowing that, like, they're tying in the fact that there's something alien about us connecting deeper with ourselves and utilizing that channel for higher guidance. There's a lot of people who think it's, you know, they say witchcraft, like they're uncomfortable with this like clairvoyance, these psychic abilities. They call it fake, they call it weird and bad and negative things. And this is not everyone, but there are others out there who feel a constriction and an uncomfortableness around that. And it feels alien to them because they're so disconnected from that channel. So if it's something that you feel constriction around, but there's still a curiosity there, I invite you to lean into that curiosity, because there's a lot of things that we don't fully understand, but it doesn't mean that they're not real. And we may not understand them, but we know in our heart of hearts, in our soul, that it's real and it's valid. Because I'm sure each and every one of you who's watching this has had at least one experience where you just can't explain how you knew something that like no one told you or explained to you, or like it's this, again, this like weird moments that you've come across where you're like, how did I know that? Or an interesting synchronicity. So leaning into that channel that is your higher guidance, because it is real. You may not see it, but we can feel it, and leaning into that feeling is a part of your journey to shed light and shed the layers of who you truly are. And with the Oracle of Swords, I mean, we have a hummingbird. There's a bunch of like butterflies and moths, and it looks like one of them could almost be a dragonfly. And then you have like beautiful, colorful birds. I mean, besides the hummingbird, there's a peacock. There's a red bird. It looks like one might be like a parakeet type bird. The other one I can't fully see. Kind of looks like a robin in a way with the colors. But this is all about you coming into your colors, your feathers, your taking flight, being free to be who you are. Because I mean, the only bird that doesn't have color is the hummingbird. And the hummingbird is muted, which is really interesting because hummingbirds are like, there's some that are iridescent, like they're just so beautiful, and their wings move really fast, and they're such beautiful birds. And it almost feels like you're the hummingbird right now that's muting its own color, but when you decide to accept the color in, to like open your heart to allowing it in, and I'm seeing like a beam of light, and it's like welcoming in this like true essence of who you are, all these different colors are going to come in, and it's like all these different beings. What I'm also seeing is like these spirit guides that are different creatures, different living beings that are there to support you. Because butterflies, I mean, there's quite a few creatures that represent transformation or some essence of transformation, but butterflies especially, that is their main, like, butterflies are transformation. You're a caterpillar that goes into a cocoon that then turns into goo, that then builds back up into this beautiful butterfly that gets to fly out of the cocoon. And there is this invitation to accept your colors, to allow them to be seen by the world and your environment, and to be seen by you, because you've been muting yourself for a really long time, and now we're at this pivotal point where it's time for you to choose. Do you want to keep muting your colors, or do you want to truly see how colorful you are? And it's time to take flight. I'm seeing a bird like catching a headwind that allows them to just glide. It's time for you to stop resisting and to just like be in the you. That's what I'm hearing, to be in the you. And with the Emperor, I mean, like I said, you have the horns of the ram, and how it's like antennas that allows you to receive this higher guidance. But it also has to do with this grounding within your strength, and knowing that even if the footing feels off, because if you think of like, I'm actually seeing mountain goats. They're constant, like, I mean, it almost defies gravity the way mountain goats are on mountains, but they trust themselves. The reason, and trust me, they fall, but they'll get back up. They'll get back up if it's not a deadly fall. But there is this essence of trust. They trust their footing, they move, and even if it feels uneven, they don't necessarily feel uneven or unsettled, is what I'm hearing. So having this trust for yourself of, even if things don't feel settled or they feel imbalanced, that balance comes from you. So if the external environment doesn't feel like you are stable, you get to create that stability on the inside. It comes from within. And then I have Elder of Cups with the seahorse. There's a lot of trusting your intuition, swimming through the ocean, and it's like, and seahorses are small, and I'm seeing like when seahorses, like when there's like a current, like if they, I think it's like when they're sleeping, when they're sleeping, their tail wraps around something so they don't float away, I think. If anyone knows, I would love to see in the comments, because I don't fully remember. But that goes back to this, like seeing the wind with you taking flight and stop resisting it and allowing yourself to move with the wind. And even if there's a headwind, like allowing yourself to glide with it. And then this like unsettling feeling of like this, not feeling, it's like, what is the word? Like your footing is off. I know I said that, but there's like a specific word that is like right there that's not coming. I'm unable to grasp. But it's the same with the seahorse of like, when it holds on to something, it's like I'm seeing this current coming at them, but they're holding on because they're grounded. They're like, you're not going to take me away from my home or where I'm currently at. I get to choose how I want to move, but also it's this balance. It's like I'm seeing like a dance of when something gets thrown your way, staying grounded in that and knowing that you can trust yourself, but also in instances like where you're trying to move forward and forcing it, like if it doesn't feel right, take a moment to pause and stay grounded in that. And this is very blue and gold. You might hear my dogs playing outside the door. I hear them. And that right there just is like a sign of like, if there's a lack of joy or there's this heaviness that's around you, remember that like you get to create the joy in your life and the playfulness is what's going to help you continue to lean into this this color, all this color that is you get to bring into the world through the like color is playfulness. So how are you playing? Are you playing at all? We have the solar plexus and throat and the Elder of Cups. It's this balance of using your voice and being grounded in your power, stepping into your power. Because I mean, there's a crown above this seahorse. And looking up the meaning of shells, like seashells, there's something there. It's like you are this, you are the pearl of the ocean. And it's time for others to see like how bejeweled you are. I don't even know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm hearing. It's like you are the jewel. And with the grieving, it's this realization that you've been muting your colors, muting who you truly are. And the grieving is coming from a few places of like, how did I allow myself to mute my colors? But also grieving this old version of yourself that will no longer be if you choose to step in to your full self, into your colors. And and look, there's a butterfly there. There's this transformation that is underway, and that transformation I'm hearing is going to happen no matter what, but you still have to make the choice to live up to that transformation. Because you're still going to be in the knowing of, oh, I muted my colors. That is knowing. You're going to know that for the rest of your life. But are you going to continue to mute those colors, or are you going to move forward and starting to allow yourself to be seen? Ooh, whoa, we got 3 flowers today. That makes so much sense. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to read that one first. It's so funny. We have the bird of paradise. Self-acceptance, you are so much more. And I keep seeing, like, when a male bird, because males tend to be more colorful, like more vibrant than the females. And I'm just like picturing, like, I keep seeing the males like dancing when they're trying to like woo a female. And I'm seeing, like, it's like we need more of that in the world, like this colorfulness of playfulness and like dancing and just being silly and just not caring what people have to think. We have the tuberose, which is desire, to be certain of where you place your passion, using your discernment and knowing what it is you desire and where you are putting your energy. Are you putting your energy into your passions, or are you putting it into something that just doesn't feel in alignment with yourself? And then the camellia, I may be saying that wrong. Peace, be calm, and calm will come. You create that inner peace, that balance that I was talking about, with the feeling of like not having the right footing. And it's interesting, I don't even know if I said right footing, but it's coming through now of like you feel like you don't have the right footing. And you're going to figure it out. If it doesn't feel right to you, there's something out of alignment, but you can still create that stability that's within. And knowing that you create that peace. You create the peace, you have your desires, so that's what helps you create, because it's the things you're passionate about. And then this is all about self-acceptance. Time to accept who you truly are and move forward with moving into the world for them to see the true version of you. So that is all I have for you today. I will see you guys next time. Bye.